They were the chosen three last season, but what lessons can this year's crop of championship teams learn from the promotions of Burnley, Sheffield United and Luton? 1. Bravery. It's not unreasonable for fans and pundits to champion familiar managers, but it is unreasonable for them to rule out other potential names on the basis he doesn't know the league. Hopefully, Vincent Kompany's success at Burnley last season is the antidote. Maybe Leicester have already followed suit with the hire of Enzo Maresca. 2. Keep calm. Now, I'm sure Rudyard Kipling didn't have the championship in mind when he wrote, "If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs," but that's kind of applied to Sheffield United last season. Other clubs hired and fired, brought and sold and tripped themselves up in the process. On the inside, there were ownership issues, but manager Paul Heckingbottom kept calm and his eyes on the prize. 3. Succession. Yes, it's a great TV show, but it was also key in Luton continuing to thrive despite losing key figures along the way. The Hatters did not want to lose Cal Naismith, James Bree, and especially manager Nathan Jones, but in a well-oiled machine, parts can be easily replaced. If you're not one of the privileged few, departures are inevitable. It's who's up next that's the important thing. 4. Treasure hunting. In a world where every club knows every player, outthinking the opposition is key. There's value anywhere if you can extract it, and if your Belgian manager has just come from working in Belgium, then exploiting that market might just prove to be very smart. I'm not saying everyone should be buying from Belgium, but Burnley beautifully found an angle that worked for them and leaned right into it. 5. Borrowing. It's pretty standard practice for championship clubs to use loan players to gain promotion. Last year was no exception. Luton's borrowed keeper Horvath played over 50 times, and Nakamba and Drammer were vital January additions. The Man City pair of McAtee and Doyle had more and more influence at Sheffield United as the season went on. At Burnley, Martson, Teller, Harwood, Bellis, to name a few, were at times the best players in the side. They're out there, just got to get to the front of the queue and get the right ones. 6. Love the road. The championship is a grind. Muscle memory is key, especially during the 3-game weeks and that cold winter. Too many draws won't work in the long run, so showing up and getting the job done on the road can be the difference in the promotion race. It will be no surprise to anyone that last year's 3 promoted sides also had the best away records in the division. 7. Substance, part 1. Despite all playing in very different ways and styles, our 3 promoted teams conceded the fewest goals in the championship, and revealingly, they were the only 3 sides under 46, meaning on average, everyone else conceded a goal or more per game. 7 sides scored more goals than Luton. Borough, 27 more. Goals win games, defences win promotions. 8. Substance, part 2. If you're not going to win, then don't lose. I know I said too many draws don't work, but those unbeaten streaks can have a huge psychological impact, especially on opponents when that hint of invincibility starts to build. Along with the best away and defensive records, the longest unbeaten streaks also belong to the 3 promoted teams. Sheffield United, 10 games, Luton, 14, Burnley, a massive 22 games undefeated last season. 9. Stay the course. Sheffield United and Luton both lost in the playoffs the season before they went up last campaign, meaning we can give a 2-season points total of 161 to the Blades and 155 to the Hatters. That's a hell of a lot of wins over a couple of seasons. If playoff losers don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and stay the course, the winning habit often continues. Take note: Borough, Coventry and Sunderland. 10. Penalties. When the door opened and the Premier League was right there in front of Luton and Coventry, it all came down to a penalty shootout. Luton were ready and waiting. Some people call penalties a lottery. They could not be more wrong. In the game of nerve and technique, the Hatters hit 6 out of 6 at Wembley, and it's probably no coincidence that 3 of their scorers entered the game as extra time substitutes. It's a marginal gain, but it could come down to it at the end of the season. There's 10 lessons this season's crop might be able to learn from last season's promoted 3. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, particularly which clubs you can see excelling and exploiting which area. Now, hopefully it doesn't come across as make the best signings, win the most games, score the most points, which is exactly what this bunch didn't do. Click up here to go back in the archives and count down with me the 10 worst teams in Championship history.